Welcome to the Right Hand Roadmap, the podcast for seconds in command of founder-led companies. I'm your host, Megan Long, owner of Second First. In each episode, we show you the path to success on your journey as the #2 leader in entrepreneurial companies. I am so happy you are here. Before we begin, I want to say thank you so much for the emails, LinkedIn messages, and just general comments from folks who are enjoying the podcast. If you have ever thought to yourself, I really enjoy these, or, ooh, that's a good little tidbit, please take 90 seconds and leave a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you listen on. You telling me is fantastic, but it would mean the world and really benefit the show and the company if you did leave a review. So thank you in advance. Today, we're talking about something I think we've all done, which is ghosting our CEOs. I want to talk about why we go dark and what the repercussions are and what should be done instead. Entrepreneurs are typically fast-moving, visionary, big-picture thinkers and ambitious idea generators. They're often also disorganized, intense, demanding, and can sometimes seem inconsistent. And again, these are stereotypes, but more often than not, this is kind of the personality that fits the bill. So while these traits can be frustrating to more operations-minded executives, these are actually an entrepreneur's superpowers. Their willingness to take risks, learn from failures, and create the playbook as they go is often what leads to their success. It's what fosters innovation and growth and creativity. These same traits can also make being the second in command to an entrepreneur, whether you're a COO, chief of staff, vice president, whatever, extremely challenging. The role itself is often misunderstood and isolating, compounded by the fact that you and your CEO often don't speak the same language and can struggle to communicate. Both of you can end up frustrated and burnt out due to these communication breakdowns. And one of the biggest communication breakdowns that I see is when the second in command goes dark. Now, there are two reasons usually that this happens. First, second in command is a busy role. Oftentimes, you are so deep in the work that you don't have time to provide status updates to your CEO. You're also a high performer. So if someone asks you to do something, you go do it, and that's that. There's no real need in your mind to circle back. However, no communication to an entrepreneur leaves them assuming that nothing is happening. And then they think, well, if no one's doing anything, then I have to do something. Or even worse, they might jump to the conclusion that no news means bad news. Something is lurking around the corner. The entrepreneur, thinking that nothing is happening, may bypass you and go directly to your team under you to delegate work. If no one's doing something, I have to do it. And as a result, employees feel like now they're answering to multiple bosses. They're answering to you. Now they're answering to the CEO of the company. And within the organization, multiple individuals end up working on the same project because, like I said, you already handled it, right? So now you have more than one person doing the same thing. There's double work and conflicting messaging. So to summarize, the repercussions of not closing the loop with your founder is the team is complaining about feeling micromanaged by the CEO, double work is occurring, team members suddenly feel like now they're answering to multiple bosses or being asked to do things by the CEO outside of their job description. That's another thing, is that the CEO will usually go to the people that they trust to get the work done, whether or not it's actually their job. You know who to go to when it's appropriate and when it's more in line in their job description. The CEO is going to go to who they know they can trust. And then last, work feels chaotic and unstructured. But there is another reason why, as a second in command, you go dark on your CEO. And it's a little more complicated. There's a trap that is easy to fall into. I did several times, so I am speaking from experience here, where you feel like you have to be a membrane for your entrepreneur. You have to keep things from bubbling up to them. You think, I should be able to handle this on my own. And you don't fill your CEO in on what's happening. It's a fear-based response. But I promise you, entrepreneurs can handle bad news. After so many years in business, your blisters turn into calluses and you just kind of go, okay, how do we fix it? Like that's the mode you enter into as an entrepreneur. So bad news is totally fine, but I'll tell you what entrepreneurs don't like, and it's unhappy surprises. So rather than think you have to be a membrane to keep things from bubbling up to your entrepreneur, incorporate them into that decision making. So here's what you do. Well, two things. First, ask your CEO how they would prefer to receive updates for visibility on major projects. This could be an agenda item during your weekly one-on-ones. This could be a Teams or a Slack channel set up just for the two of you. This could be a recurring headline during your leadership meetings, or it could be a weekly standing huddle or phone call. So just however your founder wants to kind of get those need-to-know updates. Second, there is a concept in the book Rocket Fuel called a same-page meeting. Even if your company doesn't run on EOS, this is something that you should adopt. It is a 2 to 4 hour monthly offsite meeting meant to build your relationship, list issues, concerns, ideas, disconnects, and work through them all until they're solved. So schedule this just once a month with your CEO. I promise it will not only improve your communication, but improve your relationship, so much so that you won't even want to go dark. To find show notes and links for anything mentioned in this episode, visit secondfirst.com/15. Be sure to subscribe to catch future episodes and leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Remember, you don't have to navigate being a second in command alone when you have the right hand roadmap.